Good morning, Tom's River, Ocean County, New Jersey, in America. I'm Dr. Barbara Schneider here live today, Saturday, June 4th, 2022, on Radio Free America, the station that speaks the truth. Just so you know, I am a board certified general surgeon specializing in the treatment of breast cancer and breast diseases, and I talk about medicine and politics. I'm here today due to the generosity of Dr. Michael Kachmar. This is his studio, and the technical expertise of Jeremy sitting across from me.
How you doing, guys?
So, on this lovely June morning, I want to start by plugging local businesses, the backbone of America, the backbone of our American economy, and the people who got hit the hardest in this artificial pandemic. Okay, to start, TFS Disposal, dumpsters for your garbage. You can get a good price, an honest price, no hidden fees. Just remember, because of the diaper in the White House, there is a surcharge on diesel fuel. We were energy independent, and he killed it.
Yeah, he killed it. He killed it in like seconds into office. And we got our girl Liz. Look at her. She says,
Good morning,
Dr. Barbara, Jeremy, and Patriot.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I know how valuable your time is, because that is the most valuable thing. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lakeside
you,
Diner on Lacey Road in Forked River. Brian Brandisi, standing tall. C&G Country Cafe, 2 locations, and Tom's River Heating and Air Conditioning. That's the Petty family. Please patronize them. They are local people. We need to patronize our locals.
Yeah, these businesses create Americana, and we'd hate to see that gone forever, huh?
Plaza Automotive. Don't buy an electric car. You'll spend more time charging it than doing anything else. Have your car fixed. For beauty needs, Frank and Maria's, Allure Salon, and Harmony Salon. Don't say gray. And Luann, thank you. I was at Allure Salon last week. Okay, I'm hairless now.
You're hairless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot what it looks like on me.
You can wax instead of shave. I mean, all services, patronize them. Gray roots are not cool. Come on, get them done, ladies. Let's be beautiful.
There's nothing sadder than someone who used to be a redhead and now has no hair. You know, I mean, there's nothing sadder than that.
Well, get your hair done. Be beautiful. Guys and girls, you know, these people do everything. So Ken's Hardware, you do not need to go to a large chain to get what you need.
No.
Patronize small business. Brooklyn Bistro, a great neighborhood restaurant. The girls and I go there all the time. The tiny greenhouse for your home plants. They're great. They've got stuff, and they've got advice if your plants shrivel up. The brewery and distillery in downtown Tom's River for your spirits. Red Rose Bakery. Oh my God, the stuff is great there. Bread,
this
pastry.
is a great weekend to stop by, get yourself some eclairs.
Yeah, it's too hot to bake at home. Get your stuff there. And when you're done getting fat, go work it off at Attila's Gym. That's a little west of here.
What is this gym you speak of?
Yeah. It's Attila's Gym. It's in Belmore. It's owned by Ian Smith and his partner Frank. Ian Smith is running for Congress in the 4th District against Andy Kim. Vote for him.
Yeah, let's vote for him, guys.
Okay. The gym itself stayed open during the phony pandemic, and people were there working out every single day. I have to say, I was there. The atmosphere there is incredible. I can't say more. It's great. I mean, if it were a little closer, I would be there every day trying to get in shape.
These little businesses we talk about, they fought hard through that pandemic.
Oh my God.
They fought so hard to keep their doors open, and they're open today because of all of that fighting, that standing up against everything that was thrown at them. So now we can still have a piece of what we call a neighborhood restaurant or a gym or
The
brewery.
pandemic represented the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And that wealth came from small business and individuals. And it went to big corporations, big tech, big pharma, big everything. We need to take it back.
Yeah.
And
Now-
we are devastated at the loss of so many small businesses who closed their doors forever. So
Now I have 2 businesses now.
absolutely.
First one, you guys know, I talk about him all the time. Joe's the owner over at Taylor Hardware in Belmar. Would you believe this place has been open for 135 years?
Oh my goodness.
So like they built most of Belmar. You know, the houses you guys live in Belmar, if you're local, all the stuff that came out of it to build those homes and build that neighborhood came from Taylor Hardware. And I have a new client.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got it. The owner's name is Pat, and he owns Ebby's South, all the way in South Seaside Park, all the way down there. Yeah, he sent me some pictures of what they were serving last night. OMG. I mean, talk about like high end food, and then a nice atmosphere. You can go dance in there. Yeah, there's a beautiful bar. Ebby's South. It's the best food at the Jersey Shore almost. And every Sunday they do a special sauce. People go in there just to buy the sauce, so they have it for the week, and then
how
they can make their
nice.
pasta. But there's supposedly I haven't tried it yet, and I can't wait to. The sauce is a must try. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So that's Ebby's South, guys.
Fabulous. When you're over on the beach, before you get home, you can go eat there.
Yeah.
So we have, going on with politics, we have an upcoming primary. The vote is this Tuesday, June 7th. I am asking and I'm endorsing Mike Crispy for Congress for the 3rd District. Why? Mike Crispy is running against Chris Smith. Let me tell you a little bit about Chris Smith. He's been in office for 42 years. He has become a creature of the swamp. He is getting money from Big Pharma, and that's probably why he didn't come out against the lockdowns, the shutdowns, the pandemic, because he's getting paid. He voted for the infrastructure bill, which is not an infrastructure bill. It is a pork bill. 9% is for infrastructure, 91% are kickbacks to everybody.
A lot of what was in that infrastructure bill is the old Green New Deal, too. You know, like they're trying to squeeze and force on everybody.
He voted to send $40 billion to Ukraine. Now, $40 billion. Number one, we borrowed that money from China to send to Ukraine. That's insanity.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
we
right?
have a damn formula shortage here for American babies,
Right.
and they're sending $40 billion to Ukraine. I understand we have secret boots on the ground there, which we should not have. We should not be involved in that war.
Right.
You do know that Vladimir Putin, who is not a good guy, we know this, but he is suing Biden, Obama, and Pelosi in the UN and the World Court because they put up bioweapons labs in Ukraine. Chris Smith also voted for the January 6th committee, which is not a committee. It's a witch hunt. It's an abomination. It is there to somehow prevent Donald Trump from running for president again.
No.
Okay. Now Chris Smith wants to vote against gun rights. That is unconstitutional. The right to bear arms shall not be abridged. That is our Second Amendment. That is the Constitution. That is the only thing that is keeping us free. There are more than 100 million gun owners in the United States of America, including me. And we need our gun rights because nobody else is going to protect us.
Did you see Whoopi Goldberg on The View this week?
I did not
About
because
the-
I
yeah, I
don't
know.
have that much time to waste.
It's
And
the-
she should go back to being a nun, even though it's phony.
Oh my God. She was on a tirade about the AR-15, right? And that
This is from a woman who doesn't own guns, who hires people to protect her. And that's okay. But those of us cannot protect ourselves because of people like her.
Yeah.
Rules for thee, but not for me.
I was saying when I watched her speaking about it, I'm like, look how self-serving this is. Like you jump on a platform, you know you're not going to get a lot of pushback from because the people who don't believe in weapons are going to be behind you all the way. But they don't realize they're listening to some phony, self-serving person who is saying this stuff because it's safe and it makes them look better. That's it. They don't care about guns or anything like that. They just care about looking good in the camera, and they get their little 5 minutes that day.
So there do need to be term limits. Chris Smith has been there for 42 years. He needs to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so please turn out, vote for Mike Crispy. I don't care if he's new. We need a change.
We need a new, fresh set of eyes. Yeah.
And speaking of the January 6th committee, it is a complete abuse of power and a sham. And again, I'm saying that the only purpose of the committee is to find something or make up something to prevent Trump from running, even though he hasn't declared.
Yeah.
So in an astonishing abuse of this power, yesterday they arrested Trump advisor Peter Navarro for contempt of Congress because he says that he is protected by executive privilege, because what he said to the president is protected. I mean, the January 6th committee doesn't consider that Trump has any presidential rights, unlike Obama and Bush and all those idiots before. But not only was Peter Navarro arrested, he was thrown into John Hinckley's jail cell. Now, for those of you as old as I, you remember that John Hinckley is the man who shot President Reagan. He was recently released.
That's right. Was he really?
Yes.
Huh.
Because shooting a Republican is okay. Killing a Republican like Ashley Babbitt is okay. But even threatening a BLM, Antifa, or leftist is not okay.
Yeah.
So as for the Republican Party of Ocean County, they did not allow Mike Crispy to speak at the Jackson office a couple of weeks ago because Chris Smith was too busy to show up. He's supposed to be representing us. He's living the high life in Virginia and Washington. He needs to go. This alleged January 6th committee hasn't released the January 6th people who did not do an insurrection, who did nothing wrong. And this is a complete and utter abuse of power. Speaking about abuses, let's talk about the Durham trial, where Michael Sussman, the Clinton lawyer, was acquitted, even though he lied to the FBI and he was clearly guilty. So was this just an idiot work by Durham, or was it an attempt to elicit information? Because we did get the information that Hillary thought up and funded the entire Russia hoax against President Trump.
And the world is kind of waiting on what's going to happen now, if anything.
Well, we did get the information also that the FBI maintains a workspace, including a computer portal inside the law firm of Perkins Coie. That was Sussman's law firm. That's a law firm that represents Hillary Clinton. Are you freaking kidding me? So the FBI is working with Clinton's lawyers against anybody else.
Big brother.
So Durham maybe took the hit with Sussman to get the information out and to go after bigger fish. Let's not forget that Durham knew that the jury was tainted. You had 3 Clinton donors. You had 2 people whose children play with Sussman's. Yes, yes, Jeanette. You had 2 people whose children play with Sussman's children. And Durham is no dummy. He knew this. But look at the information he got out. Is it going to help? I don't know. But the purpose of this show is not just my opinion on medicine and politics, but education. So, because people are busy surviving under Joe Biden, and it is really hard to get the truth. The truth is out there, but it's been hidden by the mainstream media. So, what is it with the gun rights that there's a bill now in Congress which is unconstitutional? The reason for the Second Amendment is to protect citizens from the government. So they want to take our guns away to finish the subjugation of America. The pandemic was an experiment to see if you could induce enough fear to make the sheeple obey.
And it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And there were a lot of people complicit in this pandemic, including the employed physicians who were too scared to seek or speak the truth. Their shame forever and ever. So let's talk about the tragedy in Uvalde, which is a tragedy.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that that many people are shot on a weekly basis in Chicago or Philadelphia doesn't take away the tragedy in Uvalde.
I gotta tell you, when that was happening, and I was watching Tucker that night, okay, and he said the president was going to interrupt them and speak about it, and he was saying, and everybody, all of his guests that came on were saying, please, President Biden, do not politicize this, okay? Do not politicize this tragedy. What happened to these parents, those beautiful 19 children? Do not politicize this. And then he came on
and politicized it.
And I was screaming at the television set. I'm sure a lot of our babes were screaming at the television set. It's just so like, come on, man. You can't be, you're so wrong. It's almost unbelievable that people aren't just putting you away. It's so wrong how you are.
Well, the thing is that he is obviously mentally impaired, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He's doing what his handlers have told him he has to do in exchange for money for the Biden crime syndicate.
I mean, call me naive, and I never thought I was, but now thinking about all of this, I start to feel naive. Like I like why am I so concerned about this? And the Democrats just don't care. I mean, when we were taught as children, we were cemented in what's right and what's wrong, right? I mean, like that's at least our moral compass. But where's the moral compass in all this?
So right now, the politicians are owned by the billionaires.
Yeah,
and they give us the illusion that we can make a difference. We can, but we have to vote out the Democrats and the rhinos and put new people in, like Ian Smith, Mike Crispy. It is essential to do this.
Now's the time, guys. We got to stand up as one and vote, because it's up to us to show them that these approval ratings aren't a hoax. They're real.
But back to Uvalde.
Yeah.
The lamestream media is making a whole deal about the parents suing the gun manufacturer. This is wrong. The shooter was mentally ill. Not only that, he was on drugs for transition and other things, but there were multiple signs of his mental illness and his threats, and these signs were ignored. It's not the fault of the gun. We have a psych crisis in America. So statistically, there has been a 96% reduction in psychiatric hospital beds over the last 60 years. This country is not dealing with mental health issues. They're not dealing with physical health issues very well either because of big food. But we actually had a congressman from Rhode Island, a Democrat named Dave Cicilline, say about
Do you say sizzling?
no Cicilline.
Okay, all right.
So he's a Democrat from Rhode Island. Okay.
Sizzling, remember that?
You know what he said? He said, "Spare me the bullshit about constitutional rights."
Oh my God.
So you have one mentally ill guy shoot up a school, and there was a lot of fault there. And I'll get to that in a minute. And all of us should lose our constitutional rights. This is like the pandemic where they quarantined healthy people for the first time in the history of the world. And really, because the only thing that stops bad guys with guns is good guys with guns. And it is a failing of the police who stood outside for 46 minutes until some good guy with a gun went in there and ended it. But we lost 19 children. And let's go back and talk about the Wisconsin Christmas parade. You had a felon who was released from jail on inadequate bail, who drove through a Christmas parade, killing 6 people and deliberately injuring 60. But the lamestream media didn't comment on that. They didn't go after his SUV, although some reports said the SUV drove through the crowd, ignoring the fact this guy had been arrested and released multiple times for domestic violence, for running over someone with the same SUV. They did not take away driver's licenses from all the people in this country because there was this obvious attack. And there were no calls to sue the SUV manufacturer. What's the difference? The difference is we have a criminal justice system that has been abandoned and suspended. So only Republicans, like from January 6th, are in jail. And if you kill people, especially those who celebrate Christmas or who are Republicans, you get a pass.
Yeah.
What is going on? We're focused on the wrong things because of Democrats and lamestream media trying to brainwash us. We are not giving up our guns. We are not giving up our protection. And as Lauren Boebert said, Biden couldn't even get our guns out of Afghanistan. He's going to try to take them away in America. Yeah. He's going to have to send the FBI, the DOJ, the CIA, everybody to focus on subjugating Americans instead of protecting us. The guy who drove through that Christmas parade is a man named Darrell Brooks, and he should have been in prison. He should not have been out on the street. He was released because of this liberal idea that criminals can be rehabilitated. No, not after 6 arrests and violence. He should have been in jail. There's been a move now, including King Philip, our governor, to let criminals out of jail. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to commit crimes. This is insanity. But it is we, the people, who allowed the politicians to lock us down without question. And we gave up our freedom for the illusion of safety. It is we, the people, who have allowed big tech to take away our First Amendment right of free speech. And they do this by paying politicians to give big tech a pass and to enslave Americans. Okay? It is that reason that I have to be very careful about what I say on this show, because YouTube is part of big tech. And you'll notice that after my show, YouTube doesn't post me until they've checked me out for 24 hours to make sure I don't say a forbidden word.
That's actually true, guys. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's what we have to deal with. We have to baby talk everything just to be able to speak, practice our freedom of speech.
It is we, the people, who have allowed big pharma to poison us and our children. We, the people, allowed the travesty of the 2020 election, which was stolen.
Yeah, that was totally stolen.
We, the people, have allowed mainstream media to lie to us. We, the people, have allowed Joe Biden to turn the U.S. into a third world nation. Yes, people, my beloved country is a third world nation. And yes, Sean, you are right. We are a third world nation.
Yeah.
We, the people, must rise up to take America back. And one of the reasons that education is so crappy in this country, it's because big tech, big pharma, big everybody does not want intelligent people to challenge their rule.
Mm.
So Chris Smith has 42 years experience and Mike Crispy is new. Well, remember everybody, it was amateurs who built the Ark and professionals who built the Titanic.
Ha ha! That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. We got to do a good thing. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm asking everybody to rise up.
That would be a great shirt, what you just said.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
So first quote of the day from Isaiah 14:27. All the forces of darkness cannot stop what God has ordained. Yes. So Sean says can't feed our kids, can't protect our kids, media censorship, rigged election, all the mark of third world countries. And sadly, Sean is right. But tyranny is not possible without compliance. Okay? Oh, the argument that says prisons are too crowded to let criminals out. What? Okay, put on additions.
Yeah, you're right there, Liz.
Need
Yeah.
to be penalties for committing crimes that our wonderful legislators passed to keep us safe. Vote those legislators out of power.
You want to know what causes crime? Is crap like this. When the criminals know the punishment isn't as severe as it used to be, more crime will follow. I promise. And that's what we're seeing here.
That's why you have closed stores all over this country. That's why, hey, in I think either Seattle or Portland, they elected a Republican prosecutor. How about that? People are tired of crime. It's not being publicized. I know I have like a few thousand followers, and I'll bet a lot of them are Republican. Get out and vote on Tuesday. Vote Chris Smith out. He's a rhino. He's not on our side. He's a porker. Not his physical appearance, but he's taking pork from big tech.
Chris Smith, if that's your real name.
Well, Mike Crispy has to get in. Please. It's Tuesday. Get out there and vote. Yeah. We need to take America back. It starts at the grassroots level.
Yeah, we need our politics a little more crispy. Let's vote for him.
So Democrats love to call Republican presidents imperial or tyrants like they did with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They have been silent as Joe Biden, the diaper, pushes the limits of presidential power over COVID mandates, gun grabs, bank account reporting, warmongering, and reckless spending. Okay, let's take a trip down memory lane. Who else did that? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Okay, he was not the savior everybody talks about. That's misinformation. Okay, so President George Washington, in his farewell address after 2 terms, warned future presidents to put America first. So FDR smashed that to smithereens. He served 4 terms, violating the precedent established by George Washington of not serving more than 2 terms. That's why they had to make a law against it. FDR put himself and his plans first. He opened the federal spigot to institute his constitutional New Deal, creating unprecedented federal debt. He ignored the threat of a Japanese attack, probably so he could enter the Second World War. He lied to Congress. What a surprise, a Democrat lying to Congress, and broke the law with his arms sales to those involved in WW2, World War II. Sound like Joe in Ukraine? So FDR allowed his foreign policy to be influenced by communists and then sided with communist Russia, condemning half of Europe to decades of communist tyranny. And remember, that was broken by Lech Walesa of Solidarity in Poland. They were the first country to rise up against communist Russia. So now AOC, Bernie, and others want to bring Soviet-style socialism and central state control of everything to the United States. Biden is just setting things in motion for the final collapse.
Brilliant. Yes, you're 100% right. That is exactly how I've been seeing things.
So he knows damn well
Yeah.
what he's doing, and he continues to do it well. Again, he is serving his masters. The Biden crime syndicate is being funded, and he is working towards the final collapse of America.
Quite literally, President Biden's what's that phrase? His method of or his
He's a traitor.
what's that phrase though?
Oh,
His methods are something like that.
Yeah,
but
well,
it fits perfect for him.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
he's getting paid. He figures he will be.
There's a method to his madness.
Yes,
that's it. There's a method to his madness.
It's called.
And
yes,
here it is, right here.
He is a traitor to this country. He is committing treason on a daily basis. Okay, so let me say that in Scripture, there is no neutral doctrine. And remember, this country was founded on the Bible and its precepts. Okay? So either we love or hate that which is evil. There is no middle ground.
Yeah.
And the reason you can't talk to your neighbor or your relative, and this is a note to Angie Bell, okay, is because they do not know the difference between good and evil. We've been indoctrinated with the love syndrome, which suggests that we excuse anyone or who commits a sin and anyone else's evil. And we're told to do that because of a misplaced sense of love.
Right.
The only way evil can continue is if we tolerate it. Okay? So, what?
Well, Liz is saying, which is why we have to do exactly what your shirt says. Dr. Barb, let's see it.
Make America sane again.
Make America sane again.
Yeah, the only way they can win is if they convince you of something that is not true. That men menstruate, that men have periods, that men need tampons, that men can have children.
I'm pregnant. I'm in my 3rd trimester.
Right.
That's why I'm so big.
If you believe these lies, they've won, you've lost, they control your mind.
This stuff, when I was a kid, this stuff was pretend. That's what we did. We played pretend.
We didn't pretend that men can have.
No, we didn't. We didn't. Although sometimes if you just had like girls living next to you, you'd have to do a tea party every once in a while. No. But it's still pretend. When did pretend become real?
So we have to get sanity back. And the only way that evil can continue is if we tolerate it. We can no longer tolerate it. We're up against the wall. It's time to put your integrity on the table. Okay? Our leaders have deceived us and continue to rule by deception. Oh,
Anthony, this is a great one.
My other son, for professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. I love it.
Romans 1:22. That's
Anthony,
great.
I'm wearing my beautiful gift from you. So, yes, that is true. And our only means of escape from Animal Farm is to vote these people out, defeat every Democrat and Rhino.
Mm.
This country was founded on the 3 C's: capitalism, the Constitution, and our Judeo Christian tradition. I have often added 2 other C's: Camelot and courage.
Mm.
And all 5 go together. Camelot is the American dream that our children will do better than we do. They're stealing it. They're stealing it by encouraging the death of citizens through violence, criminals, and abortion. They're stealing it by allowing in illegal aliens through an open border.
Yeah.
And we have Democrat governors who contribute to that. So let me recap Biden's intentional policies and disasters.
Yeah, because the only thing that Biden's bringing to this table is the only C he's bringing to the table is crap. That's it.
That's a 4-letter word.
That is a 4-letter word. We'll see if it gets through.
So what has Biden done? Inflation. They're saying it's 8, 9, 10%, and that's not including gas and food. Are you kidding me? The price of diesel is like $6.50 a gallon or more. Now,
California, I saw the sign go up to $8 now.
That's for regular gas.
That was for regular gas, guys.
Diesel is more expensive, and let me tell you something: you get your food, your toilet paper, your supplies with trucks. Trucks run on diesel.
There's another C word, Sean.
Yeah,
said that Biden's bringing in catastrophes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, we gotta build that Biden list of C's. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got crap and catastrophe. So the gas oil dependency, he has shut the Keystone Pipeline.
Oh my God.
He has stopped all current and future gas oil leases, and he's going to Saudi Arabia this week to beg them for oil after he dissed them on the campaign trail. So the Saudis hate him because he's encouraging Iran to get a nuclear bomb. Iran and Saudi Arabia are enemies. That's why there was peace in the Middle East when Donald Trump was our president, because he encouraged the Saudis, he supported them, and he did not support a nuke with Iran. Iran said they want the nuclear bomb to bomb Israel, the little Satan, and America, the great Satan. How is it? I mean, this is like insanity.
Yeah.
So one more thing that Sean is talking about, the diesel fluid, all diesels made after 2010 needed to run. So that's why all diesel trucks after 2010 break down and need so many repairs, because they've all got all these gadgets and doohickeys on them to make them break down.
It's all these Yahooers, like Whoopi's called them.
Yeah. So how is Joe going to get oil or gas from Saudi Arabia? Question: he's not. Although he's going to say, we can make a deal if you fund my family crime syndicate. Yeah. Are they going to do it?
If you notice, every time he goes on TV and he tells you he's got a solution for the problem, he's actually saying nothing. Okay,
he does not have a solution.
Yeah, no, he pitches a lot of ideas, but he doesn't actually tell you he's doing them.
No, he is the problem.
He's looking for other people, other places, maybe even other countries, like he's doing now, to solve the problems for him. But
everything is Putin's fault.
Yeah, everything is Putin. The inflation that Joe Biden caused is Putin's fault. This is like childhood behavior when you're really young in kindergarten, and he's a liar, and then you lie and you lie and you lie, and then your parents are like, you got to stop your lying.
It's more sinister than that, because he wants the collapse of the United States.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what I'm saying. He's a grown-up little baby. And he's going to take this beautiful country we have, and throw it into the ground. That's it.
So the open borders are allowing in, aside from the millions of illegal aliens, crime, disease, and drugs. And these illegals have become our economic dependence. Did you read this week that Philip actually gave $10 million of COVID funds to illegals for pandemic relief? Well, wait a minute. What are you doing? They don't belong here. Kick them out. I don't care if they're nice people, hardworking people. They belong on the other side of the border.
So these are the people that were shipped in the dark of night
Yes.
to New Jersey.
So what
That's
else?
Lovely.
What else with Biden's policies? There's an increase in crime. So there's an increase in crime. He wants to take away our guns. He wants to defund the police and get rid of the local police force so he can bring in federal cops to subjugate us.
So why does he always lie about something until it blows up into his face? Like there's no crime. There's no crime wave. What are you talking about? There's no crime wave out there. And then finally there's a school shooting. He's got egg on his face. Yeah, okay, and we gotta fund the police, not defund the police, and we gotta do this and we gotta do that. He keeps up with the lie until it finally blows up, and then he has to come out forward and say, "No, I wasn't saying that stuff. I was saying the other stuff."
The polls show that no one likes his policies. He doesn't care what the people want. He believes, a C, collapse.
Collapse.
So I got to start writing these down. Crap,
catastrophe, and collapse. Thanks, Janet. Jeanette, that was a great one, Jeanette.
Oh boy, this is an interactive show. I mean, I am getting so
we got the 3 C's so far.
Yeah.
Let's see how many we can get.
Oh my God. So what else has he's trying to start a world war by having boots on the ground in criminal Ukraine. Most of the Ukrainian people, many of them are really good, decent people. However, you got a lot of Nazis there. You got a lot of criminals there. It is not without blame. Plus, Ukraine gave millions to the Biden crime syndicate. So we have no business being there. Okay, the lockdowns and the mandates, which still continue. He has depleted our military. He has made our remaining military sick because of the complications of what. What about baby formula? I don't know. Did anybody see the map of baby formula? The shortages are the greatest in border states because the illegals are getting our baby formula and Americans are not.
You mark my words, this is going to get ugly eventually when there is zero and it's all these illegals that came in that have it and your kids don't, being Americans yourself.
It's an America Last policy.
America Last policy.
It's
brilliant.
Treason.
It's treason.
So now 560,000 student loans are going to be forgiven. Not if you went to medical school, but everything else.
Happening.
If you studied basket weaving, you get your student loan forgiven. Now, why should anyone who didn't go to college pay for the student loans of people who did? Why? What about the people who paid off their student loans? What about the parents?
Will they get a refund?
No, they won't. What about the parents who took a second job to pay for the kids to go to college?
Yeah.
This is horrible. And why should someone who then went to law school making 6 figures a year, why should those loans be paid for by a waitress working 2 shifts and making $40,000 a year? Why should she or he pay for that student loan? This is insanity. Yeah. That's why we have to make America sane again. Now we find out that President Biden plans to cancel China tariffs and cancel the investigation of Chinese theft of intellectual property. Jesus. Well, we all know that Biden is a paid Chinese agent. His son is still getting paid for finger painting his art brings hundreds of thousands of dollars per painting, and that's from China.
What IP are they trying to steal or something?
They've stolen millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of our
Oh,
intellectual
okay.
property
Yeah.
through the Confucius policy, where they sent Chinese students to different individual universities who then spied on American labs and intellect and brought that knowledge home. In addition, the Chinese have paid many professors and scientists to give their findings to the Chinese first. We had a guy from Harvard convicted. He was chair of the chemistry department for being a paid Chinese agent. However, that exists in multiple universities. And the reason they have all this wealth and technology is because they have stolen it from the United States. President Trump was putting an end to that, and Biden is opening up the spigot because he's being paid by the Chinese to do this.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that maybe it's being funneled through Hunter, but Hunter was on the board of Burisma, an illegal Ukraine company, and we know from the laptop that Hunter was paid $83,000 a month, and Joe got half of that. All other contracts, 10% went back to Joe Biden to pay off his debts and his lifestyle and his purchase of fancy homes.
You know, my dad had a saying when I was growing up. He always used to say, "What comes around goes around," right? And I always used to have the argument back at him that you're never there to see it come back around for some people, and I want to see that happen now. There's some stuff where now it's like it's almost ridiculous how it hasn't swung back and whacked them all in the face.
Well, people talk about Joe Biden going on vacation every weekend to his home in Delaware.
Yeah.
The reason he does that is so that people can come in without having to log in. If you go to the White House, there's a White House log of everybody who comes in.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, the people who bribe him, are going to his Delaware home, and they're either bribing him or getting favors or giving him instructions without having to log in.
Right.
There's no official log. And this is what he is hiding from the American people. This is none of the politicians are calling him out on it.
No.
Nancy Pelosi controls the Democrats. She's another one that has to go.
How hasn't she been? How old is she?
Oh,
She looks like a billion.
82.
Yeah. All right. You know what?
But she is virtually untouchable.
Yeah, but don't they have like age limits?
They don't have age limits and they don't have term limits. You have Dianne Feinstein, who had a Chinese spy as her personal driver, privy to all her information. She's like 86 or 87. She's wealthy beyond means, and she's more senile than Joe Biden. What is she doing in there?
And her husband, you see the husband getting pulled over drunk?
Yes, and he was arrested in a DWI, and there's a 4-hour lapse between when he was arrested and when he was booked because he allegedly became violent with the police.
Yeah, he was saying stuff like, "Don't you know who I am?" I wouldn't even know who the frick you are. What are you talking about?
And you do know that he was driving a gas guzzling Porsche. He was not contributing to green energy. And there's another C, communism.
Yeah.
We love it.
Was it Patricia gave us corrosive? I came up with convoluted.
Okay.
Convoluted makes a lot of sense with Biden.
But it's not really convoluted. He has a mission, and he is achieving it.
Good one, Pat. Yeah.
We got to write down corrosive.
Corrosive and communism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has an agenda, and he is doing very well. He gets an A from his handlers. So anyway, This is the same system that destroyed doctors for trying to help patients with early interventions when we had the pandemic. Okay. Yes, please share these episodes so our word gets out,
Yeah.
specifically about the upcoming election and voting for Crispy.
Some of your friends might want to jump on board. This is the safe place to talk, where your freedom of speech still matters.
It does
Yeah, we
until
give you
YouTube turns us off.
Yeah, we do, but we do give you a voice here in our chat, so you can speak out and you can get some of that aggression and that just all the stuff that builds up, the ugliness that builds up, watching the news, watching Biden, watching our beautiful land, our country fall into the gutter.
And
You need a voice, and this is what we give you.
And my beautiful profession of medicine. Okay, so doctors were fired if they tried to help patients with early interventions that were off label. You have my friend, Dr. Stephen Latulip, lost his medical license in Oregon for successfully treating patients with off-label remedies.
Yeah, I was telling Mike Katchmar about that too.
And I do need to invite Dr. Stephen Latulip on this program, so that you can all meet him. He is a lovely man and a wonderful doctor. He's now
Yeah.
working for American Frontline Doctors. Doctors, doctors who helped their patients were fired. And others, they had mortgages. They refused to deviate from the orders of Fauci and Big Pharma. And many, many people and patients are starting to see this. So the latest fear porn is monkeypox. So I would like to quote.
What did you say? Fear what?
Porn.
Fear porn. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they discovered,
what a great quote that is.
If you give up a little bit of your freedom for security, at the end, you have neither freedom nor security.
Right.
So to quote one of my favorite physicians, Dr. Robert Malone, so he says, in my opinion, based on currently available information, monkeypox is a virus and disease which is endemic in Africa, emerges sporadically after transmission into humans from animal hosts, and is typically spread by close human contact.
Right.
Usually homosexual behavior, sex between men. It is readily controlled by classical public health measures. It does not have a high mortality rate unless there's been some genetic alteration, either through evolution or intentional genetic manipulation. It is not a significant biothreat and has never been considered a high threat pathogen in the past. We do not need to have, I lost my screen. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm checking something.
Oh.
That was all. Yeah.
Okay, so we do not need a smallpox vaccine for it.
Yeah.
We do not need to do anything for it. We do not need to fear it. Okay.
I think Jeanette brought up collusion. Collusion's got to go on that list because that's it.
Dr. Robert Malone, I do follow him regularly. He is the inventor of the mRNA vaccine. And he has issued a lot of warnings about that technology. And he's another one who lost his job and livelihood because of those warnings.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
So he recently was interviewed by the magazine The New American, and it is available on Rumble. And he has, we talked about the WHO trying to do a power grab. We talked about that last week. They met in Davos. I have not yet learned. The results are secret. We should, about donkeypox. Yes.
Donkeypox.
So Dr. Malone recently said in this interview that there is, quote, a massive power grab by the United Nations World Health Organization and the Biden administration with the World Economic Forum and Bill Gates in the background. It is an attempt to subvert national sovereignty and build a one world government with totalitarian rule. This is an impeachable offense on Biden's part. There are extreme consequences if this is allowed to go through. All criminals must be held accountable, and all Americans must resist this power grab. And as we talked about last week, health, American health, is not a federal thing, it is a state right. And the federal government cannot usurp our rights of health management by making a deal with a United Nations organization. We need to be aware of this and we need to resist it. And Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, who is terrific, is resisting this for the Special Olympics. They wanted to have a vaccine mandate, and he nipped that in the bud. Not allowed in his free state. So, is there any question about what happened to medicine in the United States? Now I'm going to the medicine side because you see how politics has influenced medicine. So we used to be number one in the world. People from all over the world used to fly here for the best medical care available. That's because they got individual treatment. Each patient was treated as an individual. And the mantra used to be the patient comes first.
Yeah.
So what happened? So we got inadequately trained doctors who get jobs right out of training, okay? And they get paid more than us old people in private practice. And because they have no experience, they succumb to standardized treatment developed by committees who see how to make money off the backs of doctors and patients, okay? These employed physicians have to follow the rules or else. It's the one size fits all practice of medicine. It doesn't matter if you're an individual, if your problem is different. It's one size fits all.
Yeah.
There's no chief complaint. There's no history based medicine. Okay. Doctor doesn't sit down and take your history and figure out your diagnosis. It is irrelevant. Today's doctor spends 12 seconds talking to the patient and then orders $3 million worth of tests based on the guidelines they are given. They have a checklist. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So treatment of the patient is based on generating income. This is all controlled by big pharma, and it trickles. There's a trickle down bonus to administrators.
Now, I met a doctor recently, a surgeon, okay? And he was part of I won't say his name because but he was with Rothman Institute, okay? And he was telling me how he's getting out of it because he's sick of it. He's sick of not being a doctor. He's sick of getting a phone call in the heat of night and showing up somewhere just to give an injection and then leaving. There's no interaction with the patient, really. There's no sense of being a doctor or using your education and what you know is right for your patient. You have to just listen to the voice on the phone call and go and do it and then go home. And and that's what we're going to see more and more now. Several years ago, I read an article about how a lot of doctors are going to be moving away in the next 10 years, 5 years and such from the hospitals. And they were going to move into surgery centers like Dr. Jasper Surgery Center because of what the hospitals and what these institutes are doing, like Rothman and such, where they take away that individual patient care, as you were talking about.
So what the hospitals did, they have a very powerful lobby, and they went to the legislators to say these surgery centers are taking away the healthy patients from the hospitals, ORs, and you have to kill the surgery centers by refusing to allow insurance companies to give them contracts. So everything becomes out of network. And patients then cannot afford to go to a surgery center, which is streamlined, private, cleaner, and has outstanding care. At least the Jasper Surgery Center does.
Oh yeah.
And I do love working there because you have experienced nurses. You have they treat me like gold, but more importantly, they treat my patients like gold. The place is spotless. It's totally up to code.
0 infection rate.
Absolutely. And, everything is done for the patient. So hospitals have to destroy that because it's cutting in on their revenue and control.
Right.
And the doctor-patient relationship is being attacked by these big corporations. And it's being attacked to such an extent that in October of 21, the American College of Surgeons put out a statement. I mean, it's almost an oxymoron that nothing is more important than the doctor-patient relationship, and nothing should be allowed to interfere with that.
Yeah.
So
100%. 100%.
Why? What necessitated an organization, the oldest certified board organization in the United States, what caused the American College of Surgeons to issue a statement like that? It had to be issued because hospitals are interfering with the doctor-patient relationship. And this is illegal. It is a travesty. It is a HIPAA violation. It is a violation of all medical law and legal law.
Yeah.
But that's why they did it. And they have to go further because this standardized treatment or one size fits all is harmful to the patient. And when you base your treatment on money, you are screwing the patient. You've made the patient just a vehicle to generate a bill. And we know that between 1970 and 2007, for example, that's the last year for which I have statistics. There was a 3,500% increase in hospital administrators. Why? That's where the medical dollar is going. And insurance companies, you got to pay your premium, and they're in the business of denying payment to doctors. Hospitals have departments that can talk to insurance companies to get payment, but doctors in private practice are being creamed by insurance companies.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies to breast cancer. And now we're here at my baby. Okay? There's no money in cure. You come to me to get cured, and I will do my best to do it. And I will match my stats to any breast center out there. You go to a breast center and you become like, what's that called? A rat in a maze.
Yeah,
you go from station 1 to station 2, all the way through the 22 stations of the breast center.
We call it conveyor belt medicine. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So all you get are tests and more tests. We know that surgery is the most efficient, effective treatment of breast cancer. And thank you, Susan. You are going to get the cure with surgery. But Big Pharma changed the paradigm, okay?
Oh my God.
That was the root of neoadjuvant chemotherapy. That's chemotherapy before surgery. The only proven benefit of neoadjuvant chemotherapy is in unresectable breast cancer. okay, like inflammatory breast cancer.
Mm.
And that's the only situation in which it has been proven to increase the cure rate. If the cancer can be resected, that is your best chance for cure. Now they're saying, oh, you can shrink the tumor, you can do this, you can do that. Hogwash. It doesn't beat surgery.
No.
But medicine has become so compartmentalized, and each employed doctor knows their role.
You always had a great catchphrase for that. You need to cut to cure.
Yeah, you only heal with stainless steel.
That's freaking awesome.
And but no, but that's why they dumb down medicine.
Yeah.
So these new surgeons, they can't cut their way out of a paper bag. Okay, so there's no teamwork. There's just the checklist.
Right.
So you go to a breast center, you have a mammogram. The radiologist reads it. Okay, and of course they're going to recommend a needle biopsy. Does the breast surgeon review the x-rays? No, they don't even know how to read the mammogram or the ultrasound. They say, well, the radiologist said so, so let's do a needle biopsy. Then you have a positive needle biopsy, let's do an MRI. The MRI recommends 5 more needle biopsies. The surgeon said, go for it, because they don't know how to read the MRI. So you can't come to my office without bringing your films. I'm not going to take a radiologist's word for it, because they're just there to jack up the price tag. Yeah. So I'm going to review the x-rays. I'm going to say, gee whiz, this is hogwash. You don't need a needle biopsy. You need an ultrasound in 6 months. But I can do that. I wouldn't dream of ordering an x-ray and not reviewing it. I mean, even Dr. Jasper,
Yep.
He orders an MRI. I see him studying it.
He doesn't read reports. He reads the MRI. That's it.
Right. I mean, I've seen him do it.
I was going to ask you, how many new doctors that are coming out of med school do you reckon know how to read an MRI? Zero. Yeah.
Zero. I mean, they don't look at the x-rays at all. They go by the radiologist.
When your life is on the line, folks, you do not trust an x-ray tech.
An x-ray
a
radiologist who is trained to order more x-rays.
Yeah.
And then you get the more x-rays, and then they say, well, we need a needle biopsy. Yeah. I mean, this is
these people aren't looking to care. They're looking to follow a checklist.
And
that's it.
Jack up the bill.
The checklist jacks it up. Yeah.
As my daughter would say, the radiologist never has to look the patient in the eye.
Oh, that's great.
Well, she's brilliant.
Yeah, she is brilliant. Right?
So, but there's no accountability. So, I mean, that's the new medicine. And that's why they have to eliminate doctors like me. I am a dinosaur. I am fighting extinction. Oh, Angie Bell. Now I know exactly who you are. You're very welcome. I love you. I really do. I know how anxious you are. And I love you. So, and now, how do you find the truth? The medical journals are all controlled by big pharma. So only doctors with clinical experience can refute what they're saying. And I mean, and now I get it. When some of these years ago, when some of these articles started coming out, I'm saying, geez, I haven't seen that. And now I know they paid for the research. They paid for the result.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and since I know the truth, they've got to get rid of me. They've got to gang up on me. They've got to fight me.
And they do.
And it is it is David versus Goliath. And
sure it is, yeah.
And sometimes David doesn't win. But, I'm there with my slingshot. Yeah. And
so long as David keeps pushing back, right?
Right.
There's always hope.
And so yes.
Because Goliath, he will always fall. if you stand up to him. Yeah.
Eventually. But on the other
Goliath.
hand, the nail that stands up, it's the one that gets hammered down. So anyway,
you're on
for
a
as-
roll today with
I know,
these. Yeah.
but for as as long as I have breath in me, as long as I can fight, I am there for you. I'm in Tom's River, 732-244-2060.
No, before we sign off though, I had a question for you about what's going on in the world. Some stuff that might be off your studies, okay?
Nothing. It's all interconnected.
It is interconnected. And this one touches base on what we were talking about at the start of the show, okay? What did you think about Trudeau taking away all guns from Canada?
Oh, you're really, really going to give me a heart attack. So Fidel's love child, Justin, has learned very well from his daddy. This is about control. As you know, the truckers who protested the mandates had their bank accounts frozen. He sent the police to take the gas out of their trucks.
Right.
Now he's taking away their guns. This is about control.
Oh, yeah.
He is a
subjugation,
dictator.
right?
He is a dictator. And I'm a dinosaur nurse. Yeah. Well, you give me an old nurse and I can do any surgery in the world.
That's amazing. I love that one too. You're on a roll.
Oh man.
You are fire.
That's what's beautiful about Jasper Center. You got old nurses there, not chronologically old, Michelle, but just old souls. And Nancy, we know you're not old.
Oh, Nancy's, yeah, she's lovely.
These are old souls. I can do anything there. It's amazing. But Trudeau wants control.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to turn Canada into Cuba and invite his dad is dead, so his uncle Raoul or something can come and visit and lord it over the people. And he's going to do a gun grab. He has to be eliminated. And the U.S. is looking at Justin to take lessons. So he has to be eliminated.
Because remember when the truckers were all there and people were celebrating in the streets and stuff, but he was too busy talking about some Nazi flag. Did we even see a picture of that flag or not?
It was all made up.
And now he's becoming more like Hitler than ever. It's almost like what are you doing, dude?
The mainstream media is at fault for only reporting those things. They don't report our side of the story.
Yeah.
That's why shows like this are so important. And my last quote of the day is from James 4. And it's simple. Come near to God and he will come near to you. And that's really, really important because it is a righteous battle we need to fight.
Yeah.
It is to uphold our country, which was founded on biblical precepts. And these Soviet socialists are godless. And they have to be eliminated. They have to be voted out. You have to get out and vote on Tuesday. And yes, Irene, I will see you on Monday. I'm all set. Fear not, I will be there. And please, please, please vote on Tuesday. Vote the rhinos out and get someone new in. Remember the ark. Remember everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, I will see you next week. Thank you for spending your hour with me. Thank you for listening and commenting. Patronize our small businesses. Let's get America back.
Yeah.
My website is goseebarb.com. I am in Tom's River. If you have a question, you can call my office. I will get back to you. If you have a breast problem, come to me for the cure.
What's the office number?
732-244-2060. I'm blessed with two wonderful members of my staff, part of the team, part of the real team.
The real team.
Yep, Susan and Tracy. So this is Dr. Barbara Schneider signing off. We are live here today. It is Saturday, June 4th, and I'm signing off for Tom's River, Ocean County, New Jersey, and America. Please share this episode so we get the word out and we fire up America to rise up against injustice. Have a great weekend. The sun is out. I love you all.